noticed that in one of your videos on the thought provokers, you've given your commentaries on
videos on where?
Thought provokers. Yeah. Yeah. It's on war and religion, where you've given a short commentary on that, where you said that enviousness has been one of the cause for people to be in war. But how can someone promote Krishna consciousness in order to eradicate war and limit it as much as possible?
Because people have unfulfilled material desires, they often cause wars. They think that by political independence, everything will be fine. By economic sovereignty, all problems will be solved. As long as people are in the bodily concept of life, they'll fight. Your body is different from mine. You must be the enemy. Or your language is different from mine. Or your religion is different from mine. You must be the enemy. And in this way, people become, because they're conditioned souls, people become manipulated by devious politicians. There are two steps causing all the problems. First of all, people are in anxiety. Why am I losing this? Why am I not getting that? But anxiety is not enough to be mobilized into action. Students of political science will tell you this. If people are simply in anxiety, they're immobilized. But to bring them to a point of action, especially to the point of war, you need to get them to identify as a group. We are this group. And then get them to point out another group. You are the enemy group. And then there can be action. So by identifying with the body as the self, people are easily manipulated. And agitators want to bring them, for the benefit of the agitators, for their own self-interest, they want to bring people from the platform of anxiety. Something's wrong. Something's missing. I'm losing what I have. But that, as I said, is not enough to get people to take action. To take action, you have to be angry. And to be angry, you've got to feel, I am of this bodily group, and you are of the other bodily group. So you need a strong body identity, and then you need to feel threatened by someone with a different body, different language, different religion. And that's the story of world history. You'll feel better when you exterminate this group, or limit this group, or take their territory. By venting your wrath, by being angry, you'll make a difference. You can make a mark in the world. But just by being in anxiety, you're immobilized. Just like what Hitler did. The book he wrote is followed by many before him and many after him. He offered the people accusations. Those persons, those groups did this and that. And then promises of revenge. We will strike back. And then promises of a better future. It's the same thing that goes on century after century.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
So if you read Bhagavad Gita, you find in chapter 2, the bodily concept of life is tossed out. Krishna told Arjuna, you're speaking big words, but you don't know what you're talking about, because what you're saying is based on the body, which we are not. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. My question is, what is pure bhakti?
This is defined by Rupa Goswami. What is pure bhakti? Defined in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which we have as Nectar of Devotion. Soon, for those of you who have suitably studied Prabhupada's books, the BBT will be publishing 5 volumes of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But first, we must focus on Prabhupada's books, and then for those who are advanced in that way, they can read these very high-quality translations done by the BBT. So, Anya Vilasita Shunyam Jnanam Karma Jnanavritam. Rupa Goswami explains, and we're all meant to be Rupanugas. We're following the footsteps of Rupa Goswami. He explains that pure bhakti means engaging in Krishna's service without desire for any material compensation and not tinged by any metaphysical speculation of merging into Krishna. That's spiritual selfishness, even spiritual suicide. But we want not to merge into Krishna, we want to engage in serving Krishna, simply for the sake of serving Krishna. That is pure bhakti. The closest thing in the material world that you'll see to pure bhakti, still it's not pure bhakti, is the mother's love for the child. Mothers have a thankless task often, a rewardless task. Of course, they still want something in return. I know my mother's 96 and she's still saying, "Why aren't you here with me?" She's surrounded by many of my brothers, sisters, and their children. They're all doctors and nurses and everything, so she's well taken care of, but still, "Why aren't you here with me?" So mothers, they love their children, no matter what the children do, but still the mothers expect some affection back. Nevertheless, as I said, the example of a mother's love for her child is given as an example for the closest thing you'll see in the material world to pure bhakti. What do the mothers think? They do anything for their child. They don't like their child being criticized. They want to give their child the best. They want their child to have the best. Through sleepless nights. But it's almost pure, but not quite. Because the mother wants affection back. Whereas a real devotee serves Krishna no matter what. As Lord Chaitanya prays, demonstrating what is the full potential of pure bhakti. He prays, "You may handle me roughly by your embrace, make me brokenhearted by not being present before me, but you are still my worshipful Lord unconditionally." That's the standard that we are aspiring for. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Maharaj, can the terms yogi and devotee be used interchangeably? In chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about a perfect yogi. So can these terms be used interchangeably?
Yes and no. Yogi means one who has made the connection. Because yoga means the ultimate connection. But there are different types of yoga. Ideally, in the full sense of the word yogi and yoga, you're talking about connecting to Krishna. But you can also be talking about subordinate steps on the ladder to bhakti. You could be talking about karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. That's why at the end of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say?
The one who remains
one who is connected to me in Bhakti, devotional service, is the best yogi of all. So again, in the full sense of the term yoga and yogi, that's the devotee, that's referring to devotional service. But, as Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita as it is, there's the yoga ladder. And it can start on the lower levels and finally culminate in the top level, which is bhakti. So we just take the elevator straight to the top level. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavam mam prapajyate. After many births and deaths, the Jnana Yogi, the metaphysical speculator, finally realizes Vasudeva Sarvariti. Krishna is everything. All energies come from Krishna.
Maharaj, can we say that devotee is a subset of a yogi or
Devotee is the culmination of yoga, the top rung on the yoga ladder. When Krishna says at the end of the Gita, Sarvadhamman prityaja mamekam sharanam vraja, give up all your concoctions of dharma and just surrender to me, that's the perfection of yoga. So we have the opportunity to perform the perfection of yoga. We have to decide, do we want to take advantage of that opportunity or not? Krishna says, always think of me, become my devotee. That means we have a lifestyle in which everything is centered around Krishna. Krishna doesn't say simply, just wear neck beads and you're my devotee. He says, always think of me, become my devotee, offer everything to me. Yes.
We hear this word surrender a lot. What does actually the word surrender means, and how do we surrender to Krishna?
I like the way Prabhupada defined the famous verse in the 18th chapter of the Gita, Sarva Dharma Prityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. We know it as abandon all your concoctions of dharma and just surrender to Krishna. He explained it. This means shut down your plan-making factory and take Krishna's plan. Otherwise, when we hear the word surrender, we may get very afraid, like you're walking on a dark street at night and someone says, give me your wallet. But when you understand that you have actually nothing of your own to begin with, everything belongs to Krishna, then you can easily surrender. But if you think something is yours, you'll be agitated and disturbed to give it up. Let's say you're walking in the center of Canberra. Does Canberra have a center or no? Where all the bank branches are. So you're walking in the center of Canberra and I'm walking with you and you say to me, see that Commonwealth Bank? I surrender it. What does that mean? You know, you don't own it. I surrender it. But then, when you point to your own car and your own house, it's mine, it's mine. Well, surrender it. So the more we see everything as belonging to Krishna, the more advanced we become. And that's the vision of a perfect yogi who sees everything in relation to Krishna and sees Krishna everywhere. Let's see if someone else and we'll get back to you. Yes, someone who hasn't asked before? Yes.
Maharaj, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, when the Gopas, the friends of Krishna, they are described, it is mentioned that they have done a lot of austerities, a lot of tapasya, etc. And as a result, now they are playing with Krishna. But they have forgotten, they may have been great yogis or whatever, but now they are playing with Krishna.
Shukadeva Goswami is just exclaiming, how many pious activities does it take to be one of these cowherd boys playing with Krishna? It doesn't mean that they attain that position by pious activities, but it's a way of saying, how great is this? Just like if you want to talk about someone who's wealthy today, you say, how many billions of dollars does he have? That's the currency of today. But in a real human civilization, the currency is punya, pious activities. Because that gets you to the heavenly planets in your next birth. So it's a way of saying, how rarely fortunate are these cowherd boys? How many pious activities? It's like, how many billions of dollars does it take to get that position? You can't get a position in Krishna Lila with billions of dollars. And similarly, you can't get it with billions of pious activities. But it's a way of exclaiming, how great is that?
So what did they do to? So what did they do to end up with Krishna? How can
Pure bhakti, pure devotional service. Some are eternally liberated, nitya siddha, and some come from the ranks of conditioned souls. But Shukadeva is just giving an exclamation to show you how special that position is as a cowherd boy with Krishna. How many pious activities did they perform? How did they do it? It's an expression of wonder. That's what I was looking for. That's the term. It's like you walk past a beautiful building. You say, how many billions of dollars did it take to make that? Of course, you can make a building with billions of dollars, but you can't get Krishna's association with billions of dollars. Just by that. Unless, of course, you're a pure devotee who engages all the billions in Krishna's service, like Maharaj Yudhisthira.
So there are many permutations and many ways bhakti is practiced, and so many, it's ever constant changing realm to when one is performing bhakti. So what out of all the different combinations and permutations, how does one end up in Golok Vrindavan? What is that which brings that devotee there?
Yasya prasada, bhagavat prasada, yasya prasada, nagati katopi. As Narottam Das Thakur says, Chariya Vaishnava Seva Nishta Pahechikeva. Who do you know who ever was free from material existence without the blessings of a Vaishnava? And as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Krishna se tomar, Krishna di tomar. Krishna, you are the property of your devotee. Therefore, I'm running after the devotee shouting Krishna, Krishna. He doesn't say I'm running after Krishna directly. I'm running after the devotee. And I'm calling out, Krishna, Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Sorry if I'm asking a wrong question, but this is what I understood by studying the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Mainly Krishna focuses on Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, 5th chapter. So, but if I read the purport of Srila Prabhupada always emphasizes on Krishna consciousness, even though Krishna is talking about a yogi, how it leads to. Dhyana Yoga, and then from 7th chapter it starts from Bhakti Yoga.
Correction. Krishna is always talking about bhakti, but not explicitly as the ultimate until the end of the 6th chapter. But all the references are there. It depends on what you read. That's why Prabhupada, what you read into what you're reading. That's why the Bhaktivedanta purports are there to point out. By the way, this is what's going on. Because in this age of Kali, people can't even understand Bhagavad Gita, which is meant to make the Vedic knowledge easy for them. I remember when I first tried to study Bhagavad Gita, my last year at Yale University, and I looked at the assigned reading for the course in Hinduism, and there was a version of Bhagavad Gita. So I went to the bookshop, the university bookshop, and bought it to see what the course would be like. And I read in the commentary of this so-called Bhagavad Gita, I read, Krishna is a concept meant to satisfy both the sentimentalists and the intellectuals. Something in me said, throw this book away. So bhakti is everywhere in Bhagavad Gita, but we need some help to see it. Otherwise, we become bewildered by, like so many scholars who think, oh, there's bhakti, there's this, there's that, the other. Even if you think that there's some confusion, the last thing Krishna says is most important. And the last thing that Krishna says ties everything together. So even if you think there's some confusion, which there isn't. Just like when Krishna says, Brahma Nirvana, the end of the 2nd chapter. You'll go to the spiritual kingdom. You could take it that means Brahman, or you could take it that means Mameti. You go to Krishna. But you can't say, well, Krishna, you're only speaking about Brahman. The spiritual kingdom contains Brahman. So Prabhupada is bringing out what's there. He's preventing you from having a shallow understanding. Brahman is for real, Paramatma is for real. But deeper than Brahman and Paramatma is Bhagavan. So everything is there. But we need some help. In this darkness of the age of Kali, we need some help to see what's actually there. Just like, what is it, chapter 1? Arjuna tells Krishna, Senayor Ubayor Madhye, Ratam Stapaya Mechjuta, drive my chariot in the middle of the two armies. That's like Mother Yashoda binding Krishna with a rope. Krishna, right in chapter 1, is showing you he's subordinate to his devotee, actually subordinate to his devotee's love. But you may just take it as military maneuver, as ordinary. But in the hands of Srila Prabhupada, you see the pure bhakti. Krishna subordinating himself. He's being conquered by his friend Arjuna's love. Allowing Arjuna to order, Achyuta, infallible one, please drive my chariot in between the two armies. Who is he to give an order to Krishna? That's right in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So be thankful for the Bhaktivedanta purports. Otherwise, where would we be? When I was working for the BBT on Prabhupada's books, he told us, he said, actually anyone can translate, but my purports contain my devotional ecstasies. Anyone can translate. The test of a real Bhagavad Gita is not so much the translation, which anyone can do who knows Sanskrit. The test is how you explain it. What do you see in the translation? So you have to know how to take the Bhagavad Gita as a whole. Just like Krishna says, always think of me. So some will speculate and say, oh, always think of the impersonal Brahman. Even though Krishna says at the end of the 14th chapter, Brahmanoi Prakrishtaham, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. The impersonal Brahman is based on me, the person. So Bhagavad Gita is meant to express the Vedic knowledge simply, but we're so deficient in intelligence in this day and age that even Bhagavad Gita we have difficulty understanding. All right? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. In terms of material wealth, a lot of us here work and we get promotions. But is there ever a point where you should say, no, I don't need any more money, I'm not going to accept this promotion? Is there a point where we should say, enough is enough? If I ever earn more, if I get more money, I'm going to get caught up in all of this?
Yes, spiritual economics means you go to work to give, not go to work to get. You go to work to give yourself a bhakti lifestyle, give it to your family if you have one, and give it to as much of the world as your resources allow. That's going to work to give. Whereas material economics means going to work to get for me. More possessions for me, more status for me, more respect for me, more gratification for me. But if you go to work to give yourself a bhakti lifestyle, you want all the books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, you want to visit Vrindavan, Mayapur, you want to help a local temple, that's going to work to give yourself the best thing. And then if you have a family, you want to make sure the family has every opportunity to be Krishna conscious. And of course, a bhakta, a devotee, thinks of the whole world as his or her family. So you want to allocate some resources so others can be attracted to Krishna. That's spiritual economics. So if you can, without destroying your consciousness, your spiritual consciousness, if you can make billions, go ahead, but use it properly. But don't get envious that someone seems to be doing nothing and they're making 100 times more than you. Everyone has, I know householders call it money karma. Households have different money karma. But the point is, how are you using what you have? And in the process of using what you have, are you elevating your consciousness or abusing your spiritual consciousness? So someone can make $1 billion very easily just by pressing a few buttons on their mobile. Others, just to make $10,000 is a real strain. So you have to be honest about your capacity. You know about Kolavecha Sridhar from Chaitanya Leela? Kolavecha Sridhar externally was so poor. He lived in a shack, and the shack had holes in the roof. He wore rags, and he maintained himself just by selling banana leaf cups. And with that income, meager income from selling banana leaf cups, he would spend 50% on the worship of the Ganga. So Nimai Pandit, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a young lad, would come to where Kolavecha Sridhar was selling banana leaf cups. And Nimai Pandit would bargain with him, which no one else would do. Because everyone knew Kolavecha Sridhar only presented the honest price the first time. So no one bargained with him. But Nimai Pandit, he was saying to Kolavecha, oh no, that's not the right price. Go lower, go lower. And Kolavecha is saying, every price that I offer first time is the honest, real price. And so Nimai Pandit would be arguing with him, no, 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 that's not the right price. And in the course of the argument, sometimes Nimai Pandit would grab the banana leaf cups and make a getaway. And Kolavecha Sridhar would say, stop, stop, stop. And Kolavecha Sridhar would put his arms around Nimai Pandit. Stop, stop, to try to detain him. And Kolavecha Sridhar is wondering, why am I feeling such unlimited bliss? He's stopping Nimai Pandit from getting away with the cups. Why am I feeling drowning in ecstasy? So how would Nimai Pandit defend himself? He said, you're not a poor man, I know. You're unlimitedly wealthy. What? How can Kolavecha Sridhar be unlimitedly wealthy? But Mahaprabhu is referring to his bhakti. Kolavecha Sridhar would stay up all night chanting Hare Krishna loudly, and all the neighbors thought, oh, he's crying out from hunger pangs. But Mahaprabhu insisted, you are a wealthy man. You are the most wealthy man. And then during the Mahaprakash, when Mahaprabhu revealed all his opulences to his devotees, he offered Kolavecha Sridhar, now you can become king. Now you can have all the wealth of the world. And Kolavecha Sridhar said, just let me stay as I am, but give me your service and the service of your devotees. So he's pointing out, Kolavecha Sridhar, what is real wealth? So keep that in mind and you'll always be safe. Otherwise, if you can easily make a lot of money for Krishna, do it. Anyone stopping you? You can build a palatial temple on the land that the temple has. If you can get billions without disturbing your bhakti, please do it. But Krishna will appreciate your billions as much as he appreciates someone who gives $1,000, but they're doing the best they can. You know about Hanuman. He's making fun of, what was it? Squirrel, yes, that's it. What can this little squirrel do? I am Hanuman. It's all about the bhakti. Krishna is in your heart. He knows. Anything else? Yes. Ayodhya Dev Prabhu.
Welcome to Canberra, Maharaj.
Thank you. You're still here after how many years?
22. The example of the sparrow, with its determination to drink up the ocean because the ocean had taken the eggs. But it seems in that example that there was never a time when the sparrow turned towards Krishna for help, but still Garuda came to the sparrow's aid. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that example.
Garuda's feeling compassion on his fellow bird. Causeless compassion, causeless mercy. Oh, this is my fellow little bird. Okay, I'll come help. Don't read more into the example than is needed.
Krishna Maharaj. So it's described in the Shastra that different stages of devotion and bhakti will experience different challenges and different activities, and one of those stages is described, there'll be indecisiveness. Someone will wonder, should I chant more, should I read more, so on and so forth. So how do we basically effectively battle that?
When in doubt what to do next, chant Hare Krishna. And Krishna will give you intelligence what to do next. Sometimes it happens. Should I do this for Krishna? Should I do that for Krishna? You can consult your guru, you can consult your seniors. Sometimes they're not around. You can chant Hare Krishna. I don't know what else to do in this situation. I'll just chant. There's no law against that. Sometimes it happens. Do I turn right? Do I turn left? What do I do for the next 6 hours? I've got some free time. Just chant. Gradually you'll flow very smoothly from one devotional activity to another. Just like Mother Yashoda. She's feeding Krishna. He wants to be fed her milk. And then the milk on the stove is boiling over. So she puts Krishna down and races to the stove to rescue the milk that's boiling over. Sometimes mothers think, and the acharyas have commented on this, why didn't Mother Yashoda keep holding Krishna while she ran to the stove? Who knows why she didn't do that? No. In order to reach the stove quickly, she put Krishna down, because if she was carrying Krishna, she would have been slowed down. But she wanted to rescue the milk. And the milk is meant 100% for Krishna. So everything in her house is 100% meant for Krishna. She had collected that milk from special cows. All of Nanda Maharaj's cows, thousands upon thousands of them, are special. But amongst those very special cows of Nanda Maharaj are some very, very, very special cows, which give milk especially flavored. So Mother Yashoda is in anxiety. She's in the topmost anxiety of the spiritual world. My son keeps breaking into people's houses and stealing milk products. I, myself, have to make him some quality milk products at home so he will stop sneaking into people's houses and stealing butter and yogurt, feeding it to the monkeys. So that's why she was churning the yogurt into butter, and not her maidservants. She took the responsibility personally. So she put Krishna down. Another reason, though, the acharyas give is that she's thinking, my little child doesn't know what real wealth is. Real wealth is that milk on the stove. That's hard for us to understand. Real wealth is milk. What happened in the Nandotsava, the day after Janmashtami? Of course, we celebrate Prabhupada's appearance on that day. But what happens the day in Braj, the day after the appearance of Krishna? There's Nandotsava, the festival set off by Nanda Maharaj. He's so unlimitedly happy. He has a son. And what a son that he has. And so during the celebration, what's happening? The Brijvasis are throwing yogurt and butter and milk on each other. The ground is becoming flooded with milk, butter, and yogurt that it becomes so slippery. So the residents of Vrindavan are showing, this is opulence, this is gold, and we're throwing gold around. We've got so much of it. hard to understand. Yes? How can opulence be milk and yogurt and butter? But we don't have a real human society today. And in the quest for the opulence today, they're destroying nature. But that's all right. But we think that's okay. But milk, butter, and yogurt, how is that real wealth? But this is the wealth of Vrindavan. Milk, butter, yogurt, food grains, natural fabrics, natural jewels. So Mother Yashoda is thinking, this little Krishna doesn't know that I have to protect his wealth. His wealth is that milk boiling over on the stove. What happens when Nanda Maharaj wants to go to Mathura to pay taxes to King Kamsa? What does he bring? Dairy products. Just think, when you're trying to pay the ATO, you send him some yogurt. I paid my taxes this year with curd. So all this is going on as Mother Yashoda dashes to the stove to rescue the boiling milk. She's doing it 100% for Krishna. She knows what to do first, what to do next. Everything in her house, everything she does is simply for Krishna's pleasure 100%. If you don't know what to do next, then sometimes it happens. Just chant Hare Krishna. Okay? Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you for being here once again.
Maharaj, just
We're your Maharatis, your boys.
they're a bit tired, they're at home, but they're coming tomorrow.
All right.
They're quite excited to see you as well, but a bit too tired, excited for tonight. Maharaj, just a quick question. So right now, of course, we are aware, in America we have a new leader who has emerged, Trump versus Kamala sort of thing.
New?
Trump versus Kamala.
But is he a new one?
As in, for now. So will that, from your spiritual perspective, do you think America would be more spiritually conscious, or it will degrade, or it will just be like status quo, nothing will change?
Because people are bereft of intelligence, they elect leaders, whether this one or that one, who are bereft of intelligence. It's a sign of the times. People can't produce good leaders. Good leadership is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Find a leader like that, and then we'll all vote. Just like Maharaj Gaya described in the 5th canto, his activities, he would make sure that all the citizens are protected from crime, from hunger. He would give gifts to the citizens. He would give spiritual instruction to them, sometimes speaking sweet words, sometimes correcting them. And he was a pure devotee. He wasn't attached to being king. He had ideal household life. So where are the leaders like that? Where are the leaders who can demonstrate even a basic moral standard? Because the people don't know or don't care about a moral standard, they elect leaders who are like that. Whether this one or that one. Everyone is bewildered, so from bewilderment simply comes more bewilderment. Because the people are in the bodily concept of life, they are manipulated by leaders who stress the bodily concept of life. You are of this group, They are of the other group. Who has any knowledge? Where are the leaders with knowledge? So people vote based on who promises the most money. Who do I think will give me the most money? The corporates, they like this candidate. The people with little money, they like that candidate. Both candidates promise we'll make the economy better. Meanwhile, their version of economic growth, their version means the material version of economic growth is destroying the world. Where is the leader who says, we have enough economic growth, it's destroying nature, let's have spiritual growth? So whether it's this one or that one or that one or that one, no one knows what they're doing. And it's the people's fault. As Prabhupada writes in Bhagavatam, in a democracy, the people can only blame themselves because they elect their leaders. It's the blind leading the blind. Anda yatanda upaniya vana. Prahlad Maharaj explains, blind leading the blind, and they all fall into the ditch. So that is the state of world affairs. And just think, we're so desperate that we have to try to find some significant difference between this one or that one. We're so desperate. This one I think I'll get more money from. This one I think my taxes will be less. Never mind his or her behavior. This one's for abortion. That one doesn't quite say clearly. Well, this one seems to have stayed with her husband all her life. I don't know. That one, his wife posed nude on the cover of a magazine. It's wild. It's a jungle. So don't be artificially forced into thinking this one is good, this one is bad. No one knows what they're doing. We're equally disposed to all politicians. Now, if they want to do something for Krishna, all right, we accept. But that doesn't mean we think they know what they're doing. If they come to the temple, like, well, you have a minister. Oh, that's Adelaide, coming to the temple opening in Adelaide. South Australia Minister of Multicultural Affairs. Yes, please come, please come. Give us grant money. Yes, yes, yes. We appreciate. That doesn't mean we think you know what you're doing. But we're polite. We are happy you did some service. Anything else? We have the microphone.
Thank you so much. My second question is, being born in a family of non-devotees, how can I bring people into Bhakti process and Krishna consciousness?
He's saying being born in a family of non-devotees. How can you bring people to Bhakti? The emphasis should be on what are you doing now? You've already taken birth. Now what are you going to do? Krishna never says that it's according to your birth that you can become a devotee. So where you're at now, what are you doing now? That's what you're going to be evaluated for. Just like this caste Brahmanism has Prabhupada said has ruined India. People think I'm a Brahmana by birth. I was once going somewhere in a taxi in Delhi, and before I first went to Delhi in 1977. Who was here who was in this world in 1977? So that's my first time to India, 1977. So I knew you fixed price. You agree on the price before the driver starts going. So we agreed on the price. And then when we got to the destination, I got out, I gave him the agreed upon price, and he said, "No, I want more." So I said, "No, fixed price, we agreed." And then he, under his dirty t-shirt, he reached under and he pulled out a thread and showed me. He pulled out a Brahmin thread from under his dirty t-shirt. And I was supposed to be impressed and pay more money. So that notion that you are qualified by birth has caused so much disturbance. It may be that you took birth in a good family. That's certainly an asset. But still, what are your qualities? What are your activities? Lord Chaitanya is giving opportunity for everyone to come to Krishna. Krishna is for everyone, no matter where in the world you're born. Otherwise, what am I doing here? You know, my mother told me some years ago, she said, "Do you know what I was thinking while you were being conceived?" I said, "No." She said, "I was praying to the Lord to send me his servant." So I said, well, maybe slightly, partially, it could be that your prayer was a little bit fulfilled. She said, "No. I meant for Jesus, not Krishna." So I told her, next time be more specific. So yes, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that to take birth in the family of devotees is the rarest birth in the material world. But still, even if you take a birth in a family of devotees, still you have to, at some point, you decide to serve Krishna. The child has to make that decision at some point in his or her life. So never mind your birth. The question is, the spotlight is on you now. What are you going to do? Because Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, I'll take everyone back to Krishna. Never mind your past. Never mind your birth. Never mind your economic level. Never mind your academic level. So please take advantage. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My question, I have a confusion. Srimad Bhagavatam, when Parikshit Maharaj met Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga asked Parikshit Maharaj that give me some places where I can stay. So he gave 4 of them, and then he said, like, give me another. So he says, you can live in gold, right? So what kind of gold he was mentioning? Like, is that the gold which is earned by sinful activities, or a normal gold what we are seeing today?
Gold means gold. Where excessive amounts of gold are accumulated, you'll certainly find cheating, envy, greed.
So even if it's earned by honest means, is it bad?
But what you earn it honestly, but what are you doing with it? Otherwise, you can be an honest thief. I'm stealing from Krishna honestly. You understand?
I mean,
No, think. Do you understand what it means to be an honest thief?
Yes.
I'm taking what belongs to Krishna, but I'm taking it in an honest way. I'm not practicing spiritual economics. I'm using what I earn for material purposes. That's different, you think, from what a thief does who burgles someone's house. I'm not doing that. My money comes honestly. But what are you doing with the money? If you're not spending it in a spiritual way, you're an honest thief. I'm honestly stealing from Krishna. Whereas that's a burglar. He's dishonestly stealing from Krishna. So that's why spiritual economics is so important. Go to work to give yourself a bhakti lifestyle, to give it to your family, and to give it to the world. Okay?
Still one confusion. So, still lot of people, even devotees wear gold as well. We've seen that. So, is that wrong to wear gold because it's gold, right? So, gold is gold.
They're not hoarding mounds of gold. I don't think they are. Anyone?
So, what kind of gold Kali Yuga lives in, like that?
Where there is excessive hoarding of gold, and you can't even find that these days. You get excessive hoarding of digital currency. It's easier to cheat that way with digital currency than with real gold. Governments just print some money and they say, you got the paper, that's real wealth. It's so easy to cheat with that kind of system. But with real gold, you can't cheat. You either have it or you don't have it. So Kali was given a place to live where there is real wealth. But now things are even worse. There's not even real wealth to hoard. And we think we're so advanced. We have digital currency. Paper currency, now digital currency. How advanced we are. Where's your real wealth? So at least the age of Kali personified could stay where there was real wealth hoarded. We can't even do that in this stage of the age of Kali. All right? Still more?
Maharaj, connected to this one, why Parikshit Maharaj did the thing where he put the snake? Was there anything particular, like, why did he do that at that situation?
It was the will of providence that Srimad Bhagavatam is spoken and Parikshit Maharaj gets to go back to God. But Parikshit Maharaj takes it that he was proud. But actually it's divine arrangement. So Srimad Bhagavatam could be spoken. But he always takes it that I was a proud Kshatriya insulting Brahmanas. Let the reactions to the offense not fall on my family. Let it fall only on me. And then he demonstrated how to focus and go back to Godhead with perfect concentration. I've been cursed to die from the bite of a snake bird. Let the snake bird come and bite me. I don't care. But let me go on hearing the glories of Krishna. He's demonstrating the perfect way to leave the body. Let's see. Anyone else who hasn't asked a question? We're in our last minutes. Yes.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you for being here today on such an auspicious occasion of Gopashtami. My question is how not to apply material knowledge to the bhakti life.
How not to apply? Give me an example.
Like we see the devotees doing things and we in our mind think, we see senior devotee doing something and our mind says, no, that's not the, bhakti lifestyle or something.
Like what, for example?
like maybe eating outside or something, and we just think in our mind that okay, this
Eating
is not
outside, what do
proper.
you mean by eating outside?
Like not following proper etiquette, national etiquette, or things like that.
No, give me a specific example.
I cannot give you right like specific example.
Eating in a restaurant.
Eating in a restaurant or
No Krishna Prasad.
yes. So and our mind think, oh, this is not this person's not practicing properly. Once we know that's an aparad, we cannot apply the judgment.
So you were driving by a restaurant, you saw someone.
I myself may be eating, I don't know. This is just an example.
Or they told you.
My struggle is, Guru Maharaj, is when I see someone doing something that is not to the Vaishnava etiquette, my mind straight away tells me that's not right. And I'm afraid of the Vaishnava aparad all the time. Even though I won't say it, but my mind will keep that.
So you are afraid of.
Making a Vaishnava aparad in my
Well,
mind.
just think. Are you in the position to correct someone's behavior? Is that your service?
No.
I remember an example from Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There was one devotee who was always criticizing others, correcting others. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur called him and said, I have to criticize others because it's my service, but it's a very austere service. Why do you unnecessarily want to take on such austerities? So if it's your service, you have to say something. You're in charge of temple finances, you're in charge of initiation standards, you have to say something because that's your service. But if it's not your service, don't be so eager to take on such austerities of correcting persons. But you're saying you do it in your mind, you don't say anything.
Yeah, so I feel like I apply the material judgment even though, like, my material consciousness, which is like outside world, what we play with, I feel like I apply that in my mind a lot. I judge people a lot on different bases, and
Better you become expert at judging yourself until it's your service to correct others.
How can I do that now?
Just think, I see the fault in you because I have the fault 1,000 times more in me. Therefore, I'm the world's expert in the fault.
Thank you very much.